let's record for those who couldn't join us. So I see that a couple people are done with the first one. So maybe you want to start working on the second one. Oh, Cameron has a question. Yes, Cameron, go ahead.
I didn't mean to do that. I clicked the wrong thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. So we use the built-in function lower to display it all in all lowercase. Okay, 3 people got this one. Oh, cool. More people got this one. So now you can work on the one that I gave you in the next comment, where this one is, I want to select all of the books where publisher ID is 3 or category is computer. So that's what that one is. Okay, so I got one response. Okay, one person is done with the last one. 2 people are done. Okay, Christian and Thomas are still working on this last one. Okay. This Christian is done. Thomas, any questions or you're just working on it?
I'm just halfway trying to remember what all these variable names actually are. I'm just gonna pull
Oh,
up the tables.
oh, okay, okay, okay. And you guys have that entity relationship diagram in the course documents in the Blackboard course shell that shows you the table name and the field names. The next one could be a bit challenging, but we did something like this last week. So let's see if you guys can draw this one based on your knowledge from last week. Okay, so we see that 3 of you got it.
Forgot to check it.
Oh, okay. 5s. So this is where we used a combination of decimal and round, if you guys remember, because with round, DB2 was going crazy with the number of decimal spots, right? So we used a combination of decimal and round. So we said, okay, after you round, we want the number to be, because all our numbers are not more than 4 digits. So go by 4 digits total and round and truncate everything but 2 decimal places. Did everybody do that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Nice. Now the next one that I'm assigning you, I would like you to give me 2 different ways of solving this one. So give me solution number 1 and solution number 2. And I will share with you a third way of doing it because you don't know about that. So that's why I will do that with you guys. But the first 2 ways, you guys can easily figure that out. Okay, we got Oscar is done with this. Okay. Okay. So one of the ways that you could be solving this problem could be that you're saying, I want to display the last name, the first name, the city, state from customers where state is Florida or state is California, because these states are not spelled out in full, they're abbreviated. And you want to order the state in the descending order. And within each state, you want the cities to be in the ascending order. So that's one way to do it, okay? What's the alternate solution to this? Well, instead of using the or, I could very well be using the in approach. So that will be the third way of solving the problem, okay? So that's two solutions that everybody get to solve. We'll now be looking at the third way of doing this problem. So I could grab any of the two approaches to do it the third way. Let me grab this one. And what you can do is, if you start looking at the names of the fields, last name, first name, city, and state, DB2 behind the scene gives them numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, based on the SQL statement. So the number for the state field is 4. So you can literally say in DB2 that order by 4 descending, and within that order by 3. Okay, so we can select that and run it, and does exactly the same thing as before.
Could you replace the state after where with 4 as well?
Right here, if I use
Yeah.
4, okay, it will error out. The reason is because where clause runs before this. So it first alters the records, and then it picks the fields.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Could you change the fields and select into numbers?
No, then it wouldn't know, right? You have to list them for it to number them.
Oh,
They're not numbered automatically in the table. It just temporarily gives them some field numbers. Okay, so with this, we will now transition to what we call aggregate functions or group functions. Group functions or aggregate functions are those functions which can work with collection of values as opposed to a single value. For example, you might have seen in, for example, where you want to select the highest value in the group of values, or the lowest value in the group of values, or the average value in the group of values. So in those kind of functions at the SQL level are called aggregate functions because they work on group of values. So we've got here select. If I want to count the number of records in a table, I can just say count asterisks from, let's say, orders YS. Okay, so it tells me when I run this that there are 21 records here. And since the column, when you use an aggregate function, gets a weird name like 00001, you know, because all the columns are numbered, as I told you. So we can alias them as, let's say, number of customers. And now that becomes the alias for that field. Oh, sorry, not number of orders. My bad, number of orders. If I do something similar on customers, YS, then it becomes number of customers, you know.
Spelled customer wrong.
Thank you very much. There we go, okay. Something similar can also be done on one particular field, like last name. So it will just count the number of values in the last name field, which is exactly the same as the number of records. But where would it make a difference is if I query line number 39, I see that in line number 39, no, here it is, right? The ship date is null in certain places, right? So let's try to do that. I want to select the total number of records as number of orders. And I want to count the ship date as orders with ship date. From orders YS. So now this will tell me that there are total 21 orders, but out of the total 21, only 15 has the ship dates. Got it, everybody?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, very similarly, let me grab this one and paste it again. Number of orders, number of orders with ship date, comma, count, asterisk, minus count, ship date as number of orders without ship date. Or you can say, yeah, orders without ship date. That's fine. So you can actually do an arithmetic calculation there as well. So it tells you there are 6 without. Okay, let's see if you guys can do this one yourself. Okay. So you'll have something like this. Similarly, just like we have count, we also have another function to calculate the average. So if I call the aggregate function average to give me the average of the cost, here I can display the average cost. And again, we will fix it the same way that we fixed the previous ones. So that will fix it to 2 decimal places. Okay. Very similarly, we can calculate, or I can say display the highest cost in the books table. So for that, we can use the max function and we can alias it. And you can guess that we can also do the lowest cost, which would be with the help of the min function. And then display the total of all costs in the book table. So we will now select this and we will replace the function min with the function sum. And that will give us the total. So sum, min, max, highest, lowest, and total. Any questions so far? So how many aggregate functions have we seen this far? How many?
I think like 6.
6?
There's, or no, maybe it's 5. Because there's
5.
count, average, min, max, and sum.
Right, 5. Okay. It is possible for you to display more than one aggregate functions on the same line, as we have seen before, that we were able to count. And you don't have to use the same one. You can use different ones on the same line as well. So let's see if you guys can do the following aggregate functions, where I want you to display the total number of books, along with it, the total of costs and the total of retail for all the books from the books table. Okay, so everybody got this one. Good. I'm giving you one with some aliases. Awesome. Let me give you another one to do. This time I want you to use I want you to display your output in a message, like a long statement. Your message, this is the syntax or the format of your message, example, and column alias will be message. So basically the output will be that your output will be one line that will say total cost of X number of books is this amount. So, okay, William is still working on it. Okay. So basically, select the total cost of, I use concat versus two pipes. The count concat books is $, concat the sum, and alias it as the message. Awesome. Display total number of states customers live in. And the customer's YS is the table that you're using. Okay, everybody got this? So we are displaying the total number of states that we've got that customers live in.
How does it do the not what is it, the unique
Yeah,
keyword?
this is what I will gonna be doing next year. Display total number of unique states customers live in. So we will do one change here, that before the name of the field, we will use the word distinct.
That's what I was looking for. It's on the tip of my tongue.
So that will give us only the distinct states. Non-repeating customer states. Just like we saw that we were able to take the difference between the two counts earlier on, as you saw here, the difference between the total number of orders minus the total number of shipped orders, that gave us the not shipped orders. Likewise, let's see if you can do this one. Display the total net amount from books table. Okay. So what did you guys write for this one?
Well, I need you to write it so I can tell you.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys already.
I'm kidding. I did the sum of retail minus the sum of cost for the net profit.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Okay, so let's make some modifications to this one. And then you can display all three of them in the same statement and give them appropriate aliases. Okay, so 3 people still need to do this, which is basically, I mean, these are my aliases. You could use different alias names. So total inventory cost, total inventory retail, and sum of profit, basically what it is. Okay. Now, you guys do this one. Okay, except for Cameron and William, everybody's done. Okay, everybody's done. Awesome. Okay. So something similar, something like this, you guys got to? Okay. What time is it? 9:15. Okay. How about you guys work on your quiz for this week now? So if you go to the quiz and the reviews button, you guys will have the review number 4 available, which has 16 questions. Let's set aside time till, let's say, 9:35. If anybody needs more time, then we will check back at 9:35.
Sure.
Okay. So before the quiz, this is where we were. Now we will learn about a special operator called case operator in the DB2. This may or may not be available in other databases, but DB2 has it. So for example, I want to display the title and retail of the book. And based on the retail amount, I want to display if the book is cheap, average, or expensive. You know, sort of kind of an if condition, but right within the select case. So I want to display the word, I want to display the field title, and I want to display the field retail. But how do I make this decision that I'm talking about here? You basically write the word case, and you end it with the word end. So that's a structured case end. And then you write a bunch of when conditions. When retail is less than 30, then I want you to display the word cheap. When retail is less than 50, means if the first condition fails, only then you are visiting the second condition. So you will not visit the second condition until and unless the price is at least 30. So if it is greater than equals to 30, but less than 50, then display average. Else, you can display that it is expensive. I think this is a cool thing that DB2 did by introducing sort of kind of an if condition right within the select case. And you can alias as that. I want this to be aliased as category. So here you can see that for every book, it makes that decision for you. So that way you could return the values right from the select command. Now think about it. If you were to do something like this after receiving the data in Java or C# or RPG, you can actually do this at the database level and then return the data over. So the data will be returned as a field as opposed to you writing an if condition on the other end. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys?
It does, yeah.
Okay. Okay, now let's do another one. I want to select all books, or I should say all computer books that cost more than 28. Okay, that's one criteria. And I want to select, just 1 minute. I want to select all cooking books that cost more than 20. And all other books that cost more than 35. Display the following information for each book. Its ISBN, its title, its cost, and the category. Okay. So that's what we got to do. We got to do it not on a field, we got to do it on a value in the field, right? So this will be done slightly differently than the previous one. So what are the fields I want to select? I want to select the ISBN, the title, the cost, and the category from books. But notice this time when I'm selecting computer books that cost more than 28 and all cooking books that cost more than 20 and all of the books that cost more than 35, I'm not displaying any of this data. I am using this information to filter the data. Therefore, this must go in the where clause because I'm filtering the data based on these criteria. So now I'll say, okay, where cost is greater than, and now I can do my case on category. That when the category is computer, then return 28 because the cost has to be greater than 28 if the category is computer. When the category is cooking, then it has to be greater than 20. For all other criterias, it has to be greater than 35. Okay. So you will notice that all computer books that are over 28 are displayed. All cooking books that are over 20 are displayed, and all other books over 35 are displayed. Okay, everybody got this? So you can use this criteria selection in the where clause to filter the data, or you can use it as part of your select to select the data. A pretty interesting things, a pretty interesting thing.
Just kind of put it anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. In your books, in chapter number 6, page number 174, where you have figure 637. Figure 637. Page 174. I know some of you are using a different form of a book, so that's why I gave you the figure number and the page number. I was told by one of my students the other day that he's using the Kindle version of one of the books, not in this class, but I think it was a different class. And he had like 16,000 pages for a book that was like maybe 400 pages, 300 pages. So it was a nightmare for him to, I mean, like if I tell him a page number, for him to go in and look for that. So it's like, wow. So anyway, so page number 174, right below figure 637, that's where your book talks about round function, decimal function, and some aggregate functions and case. So what I would like you guys to do is go over pages 174 through 184. Pages 174 through 184. Read. And give me a check when you are done reading. I think he stepped out, probably. Okay. So guys, let me share my screen again here. And let me bring up the participants panel, because usually when I share screen, it somehow hides all the panels. Okay. So this is the example that we looked at before we went on break. And the example was about that you can use the select case, sort of kind of a setup in the select clause, as well as in the where clause. So your select command has following clauses. You have the from keyword, after which you write the name of the table. You have the where clause, right? In which you try to filter the record sets. And you have an order by clause in which you try to change the data to ascending or descending order. Between the where clause and the order by clause, there is another clause which we call as a group by clause. It's between the two. It always comes after where, and it always comes before the order by clause. So the group by clause is the one where you try to group the bunch of values into a single category. So for example, prior to this one, when we were looking at, let's say, I want the count of all the books. I want the sum of all the costs. I want to look at the sum of the retail of all the costs, of all the retails. So I was doing it for the entire table. So I want to see the total of all the books in the table. I want to see the total cost of all the books in the table. I want to look at the total retail of all the books in the table, as opposed to doing it for the entire table. If I want to break it up by category, means I want to see all the books in each category. I want to see the total of the cost of the books in each category. So to break things up by category is where you will use your group by clause, that you will tell the SQL engine that I want to group things by this criteria. Is everybody following that?
I think so. I'll just
Okay.
have to see it in practice.
Right, absolutely. So if I were to type here, select the count, comma, category from books. Now this one will error out, and I want you to try it so that you can see the error message. Did you see the error message, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's understand what this error message means so that if you ever see this kind of an error message, you will know what it means. It means that you cannot use with a group by function a single value field. That means you're trying to group all the values, and then at the same time, you want each individual record's field value. So the two things don't get along well. So in order for you to make things work better, because you know that there are multiple records in each category, because there are multiple books in each category, you can say, I want you to group by category. So don't treat category as a single field, rather look at computer as a category and give me the count of all the records which have computer as a category. Then look at cooking as a category and give me all those records which have cooking in the category field. Like that, do it for each and every one of them. So like that, when you run it, you will see that it tells you that there is one book in literature and two books in children and two books in cooking and one in the fitness and two in the family life. And like that, you can see the number of books that are in each category. So that's what the group by does. It allows you to group a field values, and then any value that has multiple occurrences, it just then counts however many are there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Very similarly, if I give you the following task to, let's say, display the number of customers in each state. And let's say if you were to use customers YS table. So go ahead and write this query yourself. Okay, did everybody get this one? That we are selecting the count from customers YS. Okay. Now let's see if you guys can do this one. Display the number of orders placed by each customer. And which table has the orders? That's orders YS table. And again, give me a check when you're done with this one. Okay, so I believe William and Cameron are still working on this. So we are selecting the count, or in fact, we should say we are selecting the order number, not the count of everything, but the count of the order number. And we are selecting the customer number from orders YS. And we are to group by the customer number. So that will give us how many orders are placed by each customer. I can also alias by saying total orders. Total orders. Okay. So that way I can have an alias versus a column of 0001. Now comes the next question. Yes, I want to display number of orders placed by each customer in ascending order of customer number. No, not customer number, sorry. Of total orders. Let's do this, okay? So how can I do that? Because count doesn't really has a column name. So this is how you can do this. You can use an order by clause. And in the order by clause, you can use that alias name that you gave to that field. So you can actually use alias names also in the order by clause. So now what it does, it gives you all the order ones, then all the order twos, then all the order whatever, you know. I think there isn't anybody more than one or two. Everybody placed one or two orders. Come on. Or are there more? Also, I can order by saying that, okay, I want all the records to be in the ascending order of the order number. And then within that, I want to order by customer number. So because I have so many customers within the same order count, so I can now say, okay, give me all the counts in order. So it just goes in order and then customer and those who place two orders and so on and so forth. Let me give you multiple solutions for this one. So this is solution number 1. And let me give you solution number 2. Solution number 2 is, let's say if you did not alias. If you did not alias, then you can directly use order by clause. Instead of total orders, you can literally say count order number. So you can directly use that operation of aggregate function right within the order by clause.
So is it keeping the count in memory and doing it that way, or is it literally doing the count over again to order it?
Well, it is just looking at the data set of the count and then ordering it. Yeah.
So it's not running it twice.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, this is more efficient because this way it has to run the function. No, it has to run the function twice though. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, it has to run the function twice. So this is more efficient where it taps into the existing data set.
Could you also use the like column index too?
You probably meant to say, oops, I don't know. All of a sudden, V2 Cloud stop copy paste operations. Does it happen to you guys too?
Not really.
Yeah, it's happened to me a few times. It's very annoying.
So you're talking if I do something like this, right? Order by? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. this would be the third approach. Absolutely. Okay, I will give you a problem to solve now. Give me the oldest published date or book date from books table. Okay, I still see Cameron, Christina, and Williams still working. Oh, okay. So what did you guys do? Those of you who solved this one, select what?
I did min.
Yeah.
Yep. Minimum publication date from books.
I also included distinct just in case there was two dates that were the same, but I don't think it mattered.
No, it just picks one anyway. Okay. Now display average profit for all books. Again, give me a check when you guys are done. Okay, so Cameron, Mason, and William are still working on this. Oh, okay. So I don't know how many of you did this. And that will give you the average. You can always alias it as well. Right? Average profit. Okay. Now display average profit. Let me copy both of these lines and paste it. By category. So make changes. Okay, so everybody got this? So what changes did you make to this one?
Added category to the select and added group by category.
Awesome. Okay. So this will help you display the names of category in the ascending order.
Oh, I missed that part.
So far we learn about where, group by, order by, and from, right? Those are the four parts of a select command. Now we will learn about the fifth part, which is between the group by and the order by. And that is called the having clause. having clause. So let me first tell you what group by groups before filtering and having after filtering. So let's say you grouped many items by category. So you have the total count for computer and total count for cooking and total count for family and so on and so forth. So you have created one set of data. Now from that set of data, if you want to remove some groups, you will do that in having. So instead of removing at record level, you are removing at group level, so it's faster. So that's why having clauses are generally used. So for example, the exact same query I have over here, let's put this here and then we will make it having clause ready. Okay. So display average profit for all books by category. Display only those categories where profit is more than 15. So I will select this. I'll paste this from books, group by category. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase myself. Not group by. Sorry. Where and having are opposite, not group by. Sorry. Where filters before grouping. I don't know what I was thinking, but that's correct. Where filters before grouping and having filters after grouping. Okay, so where clause, if there is any, will filter the data, or even if it is not there, you have performed a group, so you have selected a bunch of categories. Now you are removing some of the records out by saying that I want to only select those where the profit is more than 15. So it first group all the categories, and from the grouped categories, it eliminates all those records where this is less than 15 or equals to 15.
It's weird that you can't access the alias name with the having statement.
Right, because it happens, the grouping happens and all of that happens before the selection.
Oh, true.
It first filters out everything and then it goes through the selection process.
Okay.
Now, to the same description, let me make one more change. So let me copy all this and paste it so that you have that one preserved as well as the change. So I just copy pasted the whole thing. Let me remove these 3 lines. So display average profit for all books by categories. By category in the computer, cooking, and business category only. So I do not want all the categories now. So I have to, first of all, remove some of the categories before grouping. So that's why I will use my where clause, where category in. So I'm only selecting either computer category books or cooking category books or business category books. So first of all, I only select these 3 categories. And then from within these 3 categories, I am selecting all those that are making profit of over 15, which are only business and computer. Cooking is not. Okay, everybody got that?
Mhm.
Okay, now solve this one.
Expensive in retail or in, oh,
Retail amount. Let me know when you guys are done with this one. Okay. So we are basically using the max function and the min function, and we are grouping by the category. Now let's take this to the next level. So I will copy this one and I'll paste it right below. And now I am interested in eliminate all categories where the most expensive book amount is less than 40. So I will be using a having clause for this elimination process. That first I will group all of them together. Then I'll say I want to eliminate anybody whose maximum, the most expensive book, is over 40 bucks. So as a result, instead of 9 rows, I'll have 4. No, sorry. Yeah, not eliminate. Select. Is less than 40, not more than 40. Sorry, less than 40. For more than 40, I would have to take a different criteria. Okay. So this basically shows you also how you can use an aggregate function right in the having clause. Okay, let's add one more item to the same query. So let's say eliminate all categories except for computer and family life. Where would you do this? Would you do this in having clause?
No, you do it before the group or before the having clause.
For the group by clause in the where clause, right? So where category in computer and family life. And let me fix the syntax. There we go. Can you write an SQL for this? Okay, let me know when you guys are done with this one. So in this one, we would like to select the order number and the order date from orders YS. From orders YS where ship date is null, right? So these are all the dates, order dates with no shipment. Okay, so now let's do this. Add 5 days to the order date as the expected shipping date. So we'll have another column here in which we will say order date plus 5 as expected shipping date. Okay. So here, oh, 1 second. Why is it complaining about display?
Says that the date timer timestamp expression is not valid.
Order number, order date. Oh, yeah. It requires that I use yes. Today's. This is actually explained on page number 186 of your books. The day's operation.
Didn't remember that could just be used as like, I guess a modifier if you want to call it that.
Yeah. So go ahead and read now pages 184 through 191 I will clear the checks. After you're done with this query, you can read those pages and give me a green check when you're done reading them. Okay, so everybody give me a check that they are done reading these pages and you don't have any questions. Now, who is working the conference out of you guys? The WMCPA conference I'm talking about.
I am.
Okay. Are you guys expected to be there on Friday morning?
For the people working, yes.
Okay.
People volunteering.
No, this I was gonna wondering, maybe I should shift the midterm because it's a take-home midterm from March 4th. I'll shift it to 18th. That way, anybody who is working the conference will not be meeting in class. So if you're working the conference, then you wouldn't have to worry about having to miss the class. So I will make that change. And then I will make it available for everybody. Just give me 1 minute. And I think Jose will be traveling because he's coming to the conference from, I forgot where he is, but I don't know if he'll be able to make it in time to attend the Friday morning. So that way, nobody will be in any kind of a rush.
All right, that sounds good.
So, oops, I think I'll adjust. It just messed up the whole column with. Okay, so I moved the midterm from March 4th, the take-home midterm, to March 18th. So we will continue to meet on the 4th and 11th, and then we will not meet on the 18th. So I will make the midterm available on 11th, and it will remain available till 25th. So you'll have those 2 weeks to complete it.
All right.
Okay. I know we are to work on chapter 6 next week as well, but there are other topics that I will go into which are not in the book. And then we probably may also transition to chapter number 8, because we already did chapter 7 before, because chapter 7 is pretty much about updates, like updating table. We may review some of the chapter 7 next week in case, because there is an area in chapter 7 I need to review with you guys. So we will probably maybe do that. And then we will come back to chapter 7 when we are done with chapter 8, because then there are things in chapter 7 that you can't understand without the chapter 8. So we probably will go back and forth a little bit into chapter 7, because chapter 8 is about joins, putting together multiple tables. And sorry, chapter number 9, I think we will come back to chapter 7 after chapter 9, because chapter 9 is about subqueries, which is when you write a query within a query. So chapters 8 and 9 are very important and they will be with us for the most part in March. So yeah. So no new assignment for you guys. So if you
Yay.
did the quiz, that's it. And if you did not do the quiz, then just work on the quiz. And I will see you guys next week, Monday, some of you, and some next week, Friday. And this is, since it's recorded, it takes a while for the recording to be rendered and completed on the computer. So probably by tonight, I will post a recording on the Blackboard under the class recordings link. Okay. Cool. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You
See you
too.
Monday.
Okay, bye.